Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an update on the Jeffrey Epstein situation. We now have Trump's DOJ and the FBI saying that there is no evidence of Epstein having a client list, despite Pam Bondi and others within the administration a few months ago when they came in. Pam Bondi saying, I've got the client list, I've got the flight logs on my desk. Now they say there's no evidence, there's no client list, and they don't think that there was any powerful people that were blackmailed. No evidence showing he committed suicide. They did release a around 11-hour security cam video, which is outside the cell block that Jeffrey Epstein was located in. He supposedly committed suicide at around 6:30 a.m. The video shows, it's supposed to show nobody entering the cell block. People, if you watch that video, and I skimmed through it just because I find it interesting, that the door that they're showing, that's not Epstein's cell. It's the door opens and then there's cells. It's like a corridor and there's cells on both sides. And one of Epstein's cells was Epstein's room was in there. So they release it and the whole thing makes no sense. Why would they, for years, say, oh, we don't have the video, the camera wasn't working, which incriminates the hell out of whoever was involved in this, and the idea that it was a cover-up and the conspiracy theories are able to run wild because of it. Now we've got the video, we've got the 11 hours, nobody enters the cell, it's just Epstein. Well, then why didn't this come out earlier, and why was it covered up, and why did you make it seem like it's the most obvious conspiracy ever by saying, oh, the cameras didn't work and the guards weren't watching, they fell asleep? And now they say, we've got the video, it's a miracle, it's the full 11 hours. And you've got Pam Bondi and others within the administration. To be fair, I do want to look at this from a Trump angle. Trump has been coy about the release of the Epstein files. Now, I've discussed a number of times when it comes to Trump, why I think there's no way there could be direct incriminating involvement. The liberals would have used that against him. Then people say, well, then, they would only hurt themselves because people on both sides were involved. It'd be very easy for liberals just to take the Trump information, extract it, leak it as an October surprise, and Trump would have no chance of winning in 2024. Obviously, that didn't happen because I think if you look at Trump, it's already come out. Yes, Trump did communicate with Epstein. Yes, Trump did kick Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago because he was being a weirdo. But yes, he flew on the plane, not with Epstein and not to the island. You have to wonder, if you're Trump, could this be a situation to where if you put everything out there, and Elon Musk saying, well, Trump's in the Epstein files, those are massive files. There's going to be a lot of people that are in them that are not guilty of anything. But if you're Trump, do you even want the backlash off of that? By having your own DOJ declassify this stuff and then you're somehow incriminated or it's bad publicity towards you. Would you want to take that chance? You would think if Elon Musk comes out and implies you're in the files and that's the reason you're not releasing them, basically saying you're guilty of something, you would want to release it. But again, let's use our heads. Liberals, even with all the Democrats likely involved in this, they say, well, they want to protect the Democrats, so they're not going to release anything on Trump. Well, they could very easily destroy everything and leave the Trump stuff out. I mean, I guess they would risk then Trump saying stuff, but this is one of those things to where it's such a seismic moment like the 2024 election. You would think if they have that ammunition, they would certainly use it. When it comes to what their Department of Justice is saying, we know Bongino and Patel, they came out and tried to warn everyone and said, nothing, it's not here. Whatever you're looking for is not here. We can see the clips back in 2023 of Bongino warning everyone, saying to stay on the Epstein stuff. There's something big here. They're covering it up. He gets in. It's a total change of heart. Kash Patel was talking a huge game. He gets in. It's a total change of heart. And now it's gone so crazy to where they try and, this is their administration saying previously, months ago, Pam Bondi saying that she has it on her desk, and they did the whole release of the Epstein files with the influencers. Let's go to this. Here you have Pam Bondi talking about the Epstein list, saying it's on her desk to review. The Epstein list, it's been out there for a while, certain parts of it, but now this is Bondi saying that she has it, and now they claim there's no list. And you've got these influencers, I don't even know. This was the publicity stunt that failed badly. They tried to release information that was already declassified, and then they made it worse by covering up some of the already declassified information. And so it was a complete nothing burger. They had these influencers do it. We remember this. And so they've done these weird things with the Epstein list, with the Epstein files. They've played these weird games. And now they straight up say, well, I guess we were lying. I guess Pam Bondi was lying. I guess other people within the administration were lying. There is actually no list. Epstein killed himself. That's what Bongino and Patel were saying like a month ago. They were warning everyone this was the conclusion we were going to find. And they had to release some type of video, which is, shows the inside of the prison. And it shows the outside of the hallway, the door that opens, it goes to a corridor, and then Epstein's cell is in there. And they say, well, considering we've got all of this video and there's no one entering in between the times of, what was it, like 7 o'clock at night and 6 a.m. in the morning, he supposedly killed himself at 6:30. But then again, why would they say that the cameras weren't working? How would that make sense? Wouldn't you want to show everything? And wouldn't you come to this conclusion earlier? I mean, what's been happening with this case? It seems like it's just been swept under the rug by the government. And now it's like, well, they're forcing Trump and the administration to say something about it. And they say, well, we can't find anything. There's no evidence. There's no evidence of any type of logs. There's no evidence of blackmail. There's no evidence of Epstein being killed in a nefarious way by someone else to try and protect people within the government. And you could also look at this from another angle and say, well, the administration is looking at this because of, and this is just speculation, but because of the amount of people that potentially would be incriminated in this, it would cause the public to lose trust in the government, which would be very bad for the economy, just as a whole. And so maybe there was some worry about that. Maybe there was some worry about it affecting the current situation. If you revealed everything and there was a lot of people in it, you could be looking at some unease in terms of the markets and things like that. Maybe they were worried about that. That's another possibility. So this is not a good look, obviously. When you look at it, this is it right here. This is their memo. They found no proof Epstein was murdered, kept a client list, or blackmailed powerful figures. And so obviously people are extremely upset based on what their own administration said here. Let's just see what Pam Bondi said.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, apparently she hasn't seen anything at all because now it doesn't exist. So that's Bondi admitting that, I mean, think about that. The attorney general saying it's on my desk, and then the DOJ puts out a report 3 months later. I don't know when this was done. That interview was done maybe about 3 months ago, 4 months later, and it didn't exist. So what was she talking about exactly? I mean, there's already been rumors that a list has been released, and it's like, it's just, there's obviously some type of protection going on here. I don't think it's for Trump. People speculate maybe it's for his kids. We don't want to speculate on what it's for exactly. Maybe it's for the government overall, so people don't lose trust in it. So they're all protecting each other. And by the way, people were saying this is the perfect issue for Elon Musk. This is Democrats. This is Republicans. This is covering everything. And so that's the whole idea of what Musk is saying, even if we don't agree with it. In a lot of cases, it is true, and it reigns true in a situation like this. The uniparty, two sides of the same coin. Biden basically and his administration acted like this didn't exist when they were in for 4 years, and now Trump, because a lot of the Republicans have been getting angry about this and they want to know who is guilty within our government of doing these potentially horrible crimes, and it just because of how ridiculously faked it looked in terms of the suicide. Even you look at the marks on Epstein's neck, the power of it. People were saying, well, this doesn't align with what they said in terms of the suicide based on how brutal the marks looked. It doesn't really, it's not an organic situation. So when you've got all of this and then you've got them saying, well, the cameras didn't work, now we're going to show 10, 11 hours of security footage that's not even of Epstein's cell. It's just of the door that opens to go to a corridor to his cell. I mean, what are we talking about here? And why would they blatantly lie and say that they didn't have video of it? And why would they also not be proactive, at least in this release, and try and explain that away rather than just say, well, we have the video? They knew they had to release something or else people wouldn't be happy. But why would people be happy now? They just said they've been saying for years that, well, there's no video because of the cameras being out. And now suddenly there's video that would have saved us all this time. And we can say, well, it's confirmed. We've got the video outside of the corridor for 11 hours. And nobody enters his cell, or nobody enters the cell block, whatever you want to call it. And so none of this adds up. None of this adds up. But the liberals are going to say, well, it's because Trump is on them and Trump is horrible and Trump went to the island. And we know that based off of liberals being in office for 4 years, having control, they would have put out at least a breadcrumb on that being true to try and get Trump, unless it really is a situation to where, and I just can't see this being the case based on how much they hate Trump, where there are so many people involved that it would just destroy the government or significantly damage the government beyond repair. And liberals could say, well, we can't do that because it would undermine our own administration. But you could just release certain things. I mean, then Trump obviously would go public with other things, I'm sure, but it seems like really both Democrats and Republicans, the establishment, they want to push it under the rug, obviously. And the only reason the Republicans are even releasing this is because Trump had said, even in the interviews, you could see, are you going to declassify JFK files? Yes. Are you going to declassify the MLK or whatever, the 9/11 files? Yes. Although we haven't heard much about that. Are you going to declassify the Epstein files? And then Trump pauses because I think Trump knows that, with all of these files, there's contained information of people to where it's going to potentially look bad, but because the files encompass so much, it doesn't mean they're guilty. And I think Trump was probably saying, well, the reason I don't want to do that is because it's going to make it seem like certain people are guilty of things they're not guilty of. Potentially Trump included, because he did have a relationship with Epstein. It wasn't a crazy lovey-dovey relationship. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, but it was a relationship to where Trump's a very notable figure, and that's something that could be included, and Trump probably didn't want to deal with that. So these are all things we have to take into account. But when it comes to something like this, it does seem like, I mean, you've got your own AG saying you've got it on your desk, and then 3 months ago, the Department of Justice releases a memo saying it didn't exist. It's just very inconsistent, very inconsistent. People are not happy. And the question is this really something that, is it a normie topic? Are normal people going to be very upset by this? Do they care about the Epstein list? I think people in general do care about it. I mean, it depends how much you follow politics, but, this is something that it was a huge news when it all came out. And Ghislaine Maxwell and the relationship and her father and I mean, this is serious stuff, and it's only going to stroke the flames of those conspiracies the more blatantly obvious it becomes that this is seemingly a cover-up situation to where the administration is just pressured to release something, and what they release is, oh, there's no evidence, now we have all the video, and we can prove it, but we didn't show the video over the past 6-7 years, which made it look like somebody killed him, and there's all these conspiracies. So it's a mess. We'll see what comes of this. But guys, make sure you like the video down below. Also follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.